On The Real Housewives of New Jersey, viewers of Bravo watched Teresa Giudice's 4 daughters grow up over the course of television. When the first episode of the show aired in 2009, Gia, the oldest of the 4, was just 8 years old already. Additionally, during the second season of the show, viewers witnessed Teresa and Joe, who was her husband at the time, give birth to their 4th child, Adriana. Today, Gia Giudice is 24 years old and is attempting to carve out her own path in life. She disclosed that she had 1 month to leave the house that her family resides in the state of New Jersey. Keep reading to find out the reason behind her relocation. New York City's Next Gen is a hit with Bravo viewers. Fans of Bravo have been pleading for Gia Giudice to join Real Housewives of New Jersey ever since she became 20 years old. However, following a difficult season 14, the program was placed on hold for the time being. The television network has not yet disclosed whether any of the stars from the previous season, including Teresa, will return for the upcoming season or whether they will conduct a reboot with an all-new ensemble. But there is one thing that can be said with absolute certainty. Gia Giudice will not be joining the main cast in the near future. She is not required to do so. In the most recent episode of Bravo's hit show, which debuted earlier this month, she is one of the main characters appearing. With the support of her famous parents, she is one of the Bravo kids on the show Next Gen NYC, which follows the 20-somethings in New York City as they attempt to establish themselves as individuals without the assistance of their famous parents. Riley Burruss, the daughter of Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kandi Burruss, Brooks Marks, the son of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City icon Meredith Marks, and Ariana Bierman, the daughter of Kim Zolciak Bierman, a former cast member of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, are among the cast members. During the first episode, Ariana disclosed that her mother and stepfather, Croy Bierman, who are currently in the midst of a contentious divorce, siphoned off all of her financial resources. Bravo fans were desperate for a new program to watch in its entirety because RAONJ and RHONY had been put on indefinite hiatus. Using Next Gen NYC, they were successful. The show was so popular that fans couldn't stop talking about it on social media. Take a look at some of the fans' reactions to the first episode of the season. On Tuesdays, Next Gen NYC is shown on Bravo, and the following day it is streamed on Peacock. View the first complete episode by clicking here. Gia Giudice, Teresa Giudice's daughter, has 1 month to get out of the house she lives in New Jersey. After completing her studies at Rutgers University, Gia Giudice received a degree in criminal justice in the year 2023. Her intention was to attend law school with the goal of eventually becoming a lawyer and working in the field of immigration law. After being released from prison, her father, Joe Giudice, was sent back to Italy to serve his sentence. His sentence for fraud was served. Even though he moved to the Bahamas a few years ago, he is not permitted to return to the United States in order to see his daughters. On the other hand, Gia Giudice already had a successful career as a social media influencer before she was able to enroll in law school. She intends to carry on with that line of work till the point where it is no longer profitable. Additionally, she was successful in the world of reality television. The young actress recently gave an interview to TODA in which she discussed her decision to permanently relocate away from her family's home in New Jersey. It was stated by her that she had given herself a month to choose a new residence, and she could choose between Manhattan or Jersey City. According to her explanation, "It's just that my career kind of started picking up, and my brand started growing, and I am in the city at least 4 times a week, so it's a lot of back and forth from Jersey." In spite of this, she is still planning on going back to her mother's house. In order to pay Bella, the family dog, a visit, she stated that she would like to come every other weekend. The world of the Real Housewives is rarely quiet, but even by Jersey standards, a new wave of shock, speculation, and family-fueled drama has taken center stage. This time, the spotlight isn't on Teresa Giudice's explosive cast feuds, her remarriage, or the long-standing shadow of past scandals. Instead, it's her eldest daughter, Giudice, who has become the center of a growing buzz after an unexpected development left fans stunned. She reportedly has just 1 month to get out. The phrase sounds harsh, almost unfair, especially considering Gia's long-standing role as the calm, responsible anchor of the Giudice family through years of public turmoil. Yet behind the headline lies a deeper, more layered story, one involving independence, responsibility, family transitions, and the complicated reality of growing up under the glare of constant fame. This isn't a fight, a feud, or a dramatic eviction. It's something far more human. A major shift inside the Giudice household for years. Gia has been the quiet strength in a household overflowing with emotions, cameras, and change. She stepped up when her father was deported, supported her siblings through their mother's incarceration and subsequent reinvention, and balanced her own life under a microscope most young adults would struggle to navigate. Now, at 24, she's facing another pivotal moment, one rooted not in scandal, but in responsibility. Gia has been living at home while building her budding career, managing brand partnerships, finishing school, and exploring opportunities across both entertainment and law. The environment has been stable, familiar, and comfortable. Perhaps a little too comfortable. According to insiders close to the family dynamic, Teresa believes it's time for Gia to step into the next chapter of adulthood, completely on her own terms, but also entirely out on her own. And that's where the 1-month deadline enters the picture. The decision that sparked anxiety and excitement. The Giudice household has always been full of voices, full of laughter, full of tension, and full of shifting dynamics. With all 4 girls growing up so publicly, Teresa has spent the last decade adjusting to the reality that motherhood changes shape as children transform into adults. Now, with her youngest daughters becoming more independent and her own life shifting toward a calmer routine, Teresa reportedly feels it's the right moment for Gia to take the leap she's been avoiding, moving into her own place. The 1 month isn't an ultimatum rooted in anger or frustration. It's a timeline grounded in encouragement. Teresa wants her eldest daughter to have the chance to build her own space, her own rhythm, and her own new beginning without depending on the family nest. Yet even encouragement can feel like pressure when someone has spent most of their life playing the role of protector, mediator, and the emotional glue in a high-profile family. Gia's mixed emotions behind the scenes. Those close to the family describe Gia's emotions as a mixture of excitement, fear, and bittersweet nostalgia. She has always been the daughter who matured faster than she should have had to. She was the one carrying the weight of public scrutiny at an age when most teenagers are learning to drive. She stood by her mother's side through the darkest chapters and helped raise her younger sisters during chaos no child should ever experience. Now, the idea of stepping out completely on her own brings a sense of freedom, but also uncertainty. Gia has been exploring apartments in New Jersey and New York, torn between staying close to her family or moving toward the career opportunities she's steadily building. Her social media presence shows subtle hints of the transition. Home decor inspiration posts, cryptic captions about change, and moments that reflect her inner tug-of-war. She loves her family deeply, but she also fears losing the comfort of being surrounded by them. And for someone who has spent so much time protecting others, the idea of prioritizing herself feels oddly foreign. Teresa's evolving role as a mother, fans who have followed Teresa through years of public battles, personal reinventions, and emotional upheavals may be surprised by how gentle and introspective she has become about motherhood. The woman once defined by table flips and fiery confrontations now finds herself shifting toward a chapter where letting go is harder than holding on. Encouraging Gia to move forward is less about pushing her out and more about pushing her upward. After years of turmoil, Teresa wants her daughters to build strong, independent futures free from past shadows. She wants Gia to have the space to grow, explore relationships, strengthen her professional path, and establish a life that isn't shaped by the walls of the family home. Still, even with the best intentions, Teresa knows this transition stings. Watching your firstborn step away is a different kind of heartbreak, quiet, inevitable, and deeply human. Sisters react to the big change. The Giudice sisters have always been a tight, inseparable unit. Melania often expresses her attachment openly, calling Gia the second mom she never asked for but always needed. Gabriella, the most private of the group, has been quietly supportive. And Adriana, the youngest, has already confessed to friends that she doesn't want the house to feel empty. Gia's departure represents the first major shift in the family dynamic since their lives were turned upside down years ago. This time, however, the change is born from growth, not loss. The next chapter is coming fast, with the 1-month countdown already underway. Gia is preparing to step into a future shaped entirely by her own choices. Fans, naturally, are watching closely, wondering where she'll go, how she'll adjust, and how the Giudice family will navigate the first true separation among the sisters. It's a moment filled with possibility and nerves, but also hope. Because for the first time, Gia's story isn't about surviving something. It's about choosing something. Independence, a fresh start, a life beyond the chaos. And as the final weeks tick down, she is learning that getting out doesn't mean being pushed away. It means stepping into the world she's spent years preparing herself to face.